Hi there, we're back. This is still 5.3 and we're in the second video and we are still at the beach. So we're going to now graph using intercepts. In that last video, we learned what an intercept was. It crosses the x-axis or it crosses the y-axis, and we call it the x-intercept or the y-intercept, depending on which axis it's crossing. We also learned that our x-intercept is going to be the x value, comma, and the 0 is going to be for y. And our y-intercept is going to be a 0 for the x and a y for the y. Okay? So we know these two facts. If we want the x-intercept, the y's got to be 0. If we want the y-intercept, the x has got to be 0. Now in this instructions, in this section, it says graph using intercepts. We're learning this is the second method for graphing. The first method was we find 3 points, any 3 points that we want to use, and then we graph them. But this one says to graph using intercepts. The only way to get credit on this for a test or quiz is to use the intercepts. So that means it's designating what 2 points we're going to use. We're going to use the x-intercept and the y-intercept. That means I need to have a 0, comma, y and a comma, spot, comma, 0. So this right here would be my, which intercept is this one? The y-intercept. And this one down here would be my x-intercept. So I'm going to take this 0, which is my x value, and I'm going to plug it over here and find out what my y is. So I go 0 minus y equals 5, and that means negative y equals 5. And I divide by negative 1, because there's understood to be a 1 in front of there, negative 1, y equals negative 5. So there we go. I found my point. That's my y-intercept. Notice how I even labeled it, because on a test or quiz, I want to make sure, you want to make sure I understand that you understand what a y-intercept is. I know that's a lot of IU understanding kind of thing. So we go to find the x-intercept. I have it labeled. X-intercept means my y has got to be 0. So I have x minus 0 equals 5. So that means x equals 5. And we have 5. Now, even though it says we need 2 points here, we have to use these 2 points. You might want to check a third point just to make sure that you got it right. So why don't we just test y equals 1, okay? So that means that we have x minus 1 equals 5. So we add 1 and we have x equals 6. So that should be another point there is our point could be 6, 1. It's always helpful just to test that third one, just to make sure we're all on the same path. So here we go, 0, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one says I don't go anywhere left or right, and I need to go down 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. This one says I go to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I don't go up or down at all. This is always my x. This is x value. This is my y value. You run left or right for the x's and go up and down for the y's. So the last one is going to be 6, 1, so we can test it. 6 and 1, and it looks like it's on the same path there. There we go. So we got our line. Okay? So that's how we graph using our x and y intercepts. When they tell you to graph using the intercepts, you have to use the x-intercept with y equals 0 and the y-intercept where x is equal to 0. So let's turn the video off and get you another one here in a second.